Welcome to the Thursday Thistory for this week. All those of you who are patron subscribers, really grateful for you being here. Those who are not, you're listening to the first couple minutes of this, and so enjoy those. And if you want to learn more, go to dwighthurst.com/support to get some links to sign up for our Patreon. And now, on to business. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the history of diagnostic terminology. Specifically, I'm going to talk about when and why and how, not how so much, because that part you can figure for yourself. They changed the name of Manic-Depressive Disorder to Bipolar Disorder as we know it today. There's lots of changes that happen in the DSM, or Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. You're probably familiar with that if you listen to this show, which is sort of the big old book, the Bible, if you will, of mental health diagnoses. It changes every so often. We are in the 5th version. Strike that. The 5th version with a text revision. There's always a text revision in there before they move on to the next number. So pre the 6 is where we are. And a while back, we'll get into it, the disorder that we typically would call bipolar disorder, near and dear to my heart as I have bipolar disorder, used to be called Manic-Depressive Disorder. And let's look at why that is and why they changed it to call it bipolar. And it's interesting why they do these kinds of changes. It always makes some people mad and obviously makes some people happy. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't do it. People get upset, and some people, the biggest claim that people have where they don't like name changes within the DSM is that it is being made for social, political, or emotional-based reasons. Theoretically, it should be based off of scientific research. However, as you'll see in this case, they do take certain social issues into account. So let's dig into that. First of all, the term manic-depressive, it was called manic-depressive illness before it was manic-depressive disorder, was first used in the 19th century. In the late 1890s, there was a psychiatrist in Germany named Emil Kraepelin. Once again, my pronunciation, guys, let me know if you don't like that or if I'm wrong. Kraepelin was one of the guys who was first involved in the early categorization of psychiatric disorders. And this was something that he characterized as distinct from depression. There's also such a thing as mania. Mania would be overly elevated moods past what would be thought of as the typical healthy, normal, whatever you want to call it, range of emotion. And so these unnaturally elevated can lead to, some people think of it as like, oh, you're up. It's like, well, up, yeah, but not up in a healthy way. It's not like you're happy, motivated. You might feel those things, but emotions can get out of control. It's actually one of the times people are at risk for taking action into things like suicide, self-harm, or just dangerous decision-making, risky decision-making, either financially, emotionally, relationship-based, any of those kinds of things. So looking at people who have mania, looking at people who have depression, this good doctor was one of the first to notice that people were having both experiences and coined this term manic-depressive. So that's been a minute, guys, since that has been used. In 1980, when the DSM number 3 first came out, was where we saw the change from manic-depressive to bipolar disorder.